Hey everybody, welcome to the Monday Meditation. We're taking a look at the story of Samson this week. So that can be found in Judges chapter 14 through 16. That kind of covers the entire story. There's three key points in that story that we're going to kind of look at that ties into one idea. You see, Samson struggles to flee from temptation. We see that happen three times in the story. At the very beginning, he finds a wife, and that kind of leads to some issues, and he doesn't flee the temptation there, which leads to him doing some good things for Israel, but also getting him into some trouble and puffing him up and giving him too much pride, which leads to the situation with Delilah, which we'll go back and forth on, and we'll talk about that some more on Wednesday, which inevitably leads to the third point, which is his death. And the sacrifice that he makes in his death. But we see through this story that whenever he is tempted to do something, Samson doesn't flee from that temptation. Samson actually leans into that temptation or keeps going back to it over and over and over again. And in this case, it ends up with a physical death. Like he ends up dying because he doesn't flee from his temptation. And we may not face that same consequence for the temptation whenever we don't flee from it, but that doesn't mean that it's any better for us. Temptation is something that we oftentimes can kind of work with a little bit. We'll kind of stay away from it, but we'll come back over here and then we'll kind of go towards it. But it's not something that you can approach that way. Temptation is something you have to flee from. And that's what we see in this story. Samson does not flee from it, and it ends up being the death of him. So that's the story we're going to talk about this week. Talk about the story of Samson, what lessons he has for us. So take a look at Judges chapter 14 through 16, and we'll see you all Wednesday. Thanks. Bye-bye.